I've turned down so many like these kind of things of like talking about it because it was too hard. I mean, it's still hard to talk about, but this is 5 years this summer, so I feel like I'm ready to talk about certain things. She called me early that morning, and I didn't answer. I didn't call her back till later, but I knew like if it was important, she would text. She had no problem sending me long texts about all the things. So I didn't have a text, so I went back to sleep. I was in Big Bear, and then I got a phone call, and I knew it was his grandma's husband, and so it was odd for him to call me. So I answered it, and he's like, "Hey, he told me basically." He said Naya took Josey on a boat fishing. I said, "Okay." He said, "Josey's okay." I'm like, "All right." He's like, "But they can't find Naya." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "They jumped in, and Josey got back on, and they're trying to find Naya." And I instantly said, "What do you mean? She knows how to swim." And he said, "I don't know, but he told me what happened." And I was like collapsed into like a pallet of drinks in a Ralph's because we were looking to get meat to go barbecue. And I told my friend Billy, I said, "We got to go." And I just didn't know what to think. I knew something bad had happened, and I feared the worst. And I basically left. I got from Big Bear to Santa Clarita, and like I don't know, I drove like 100 some the whole way. Like my four-way hazards on, chain smoking cigarettes, and I don't even smoke really, and just crying. And yeah, that's just kind of what I think about when it initially happened. Yeah, I just wanted to get to Josey. Yeah, it was a windy day. It's just they didn't have an anchor. Josey said the wind was blowing, and great. The crazy part is that Josey told me, he told all of us, but he said, and he didn't tell me this for a while after, he's like, we jumped in, and I said, "Are you sure about this?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my God, are we gonna die?" And Mommy said, "Don't be silly." He said, and we jumped in, and that's what happened, I guess the boat was getting away from them, and she told him to go back to the boat, and he swam back to the boat. And I still can't figure out. It doesn't make much sense how he was able to get on and she wasn't. It's just crazy because I think like if I would have been there, I would definitely would have went, and we would have got the boat. I probably would have jumped in. I probably would have jumped in with a life jacket. Did that happen for a reason why I didn't go? Why I didn't answer the phone that morning? Or could I have saved her if I was there? Which the hero in me thinks I would. Thinks I would. Nothing would have happened. But maybe there was something crazy that happened, like these rumors of undercurrents and all this, the history of the lake. So maybe it would have got both of us. I don't know. But I'd like to think I would have saved the day, Mm-hmm. But that's not the way the story ended, and it's just, that's kind of the thing, you keep second guessing yourself, and like one part I'm thinking, all right, it happened because something bad could have happened to both of us. The other part I'm thinking, I could have saved the day. I didn't listen to music for like, I think it was probably 3 months. I was just driving around in silence. And then after the service, I drove back to West Virginia to get away because there's like, there's paparazzi following us, which is completely weird. And so I went to West Virginia to like kind of reset. But I remember driving across the country and just complete silence, like no music, just shaking my head, like you still can't believe, like, this is life kind of thing, There's certain songs that she sang on Glee, and that's the crazy part, is like right after it happened, it seemed like you'd go into a store and like you'd hear these songs, and sometimes it would be her, and it would just be a bit overwhelming. You'd try to keep it together, or I would just like walk out. You don't know if it's like life messing with you, or if there's like something some meaning behind it or if it's just, coincidence, but it's still like, it hits you different. It's kind of bizarre how we met because neither one of us wanted to go out that night. And then her friend told me, I think it was Heather, she's like, hey, my friend thinks you're cute, go talk to her. And I'm not like that approaching type of guy. So I was like, okay. And so I didn't. I was waiting for the like organic moment, and then she finally walked up and said, what's your name? And then that's how we kind of started talking. And then we started dating for a bit, and then we fell out, whatever. The only reason I came back in contact with her was because the girl I was talking to was like into astrology, and like she would always see these headlines or pay attention to TMZ, and she knew of our history. And she's like, oh, did you see what happened to your girl? And I forget what the drama was, but whatever she told me, I reached out, I sent an email. I was like, hey, saw, this happened, hope you're doing all right. And she responded and was like, oh, where are you? And so we ended up meeting up and had dinner. And that was kind of like the catalyst for us to starting, to get back together. Mm-hmm. But it's just so funny, like the tiniest thing, in life happens. Like someone telling you something or a simple email or someone not telling you that, like life would be completely different.
She was so brave and outspoken about the abortion story, but when you learned about that, how did you kind of like process it?
I remember telling her that, I wish you could have thought you could have trusted me with that information so I could have helped you. It was weird because I knew that there was a little me possibility, which I'd never been in that situation. So that was kind of weird for me to like process. And then when we got back together, we both like, oh, this is like the second chance, and the world deserved, this sounds silly, but I feel like the world deserved that second chance of me and her having a kid. When we found out the sex of the baby, I've had tears of joy like twice in my life, well, maybe more now, but yeah, 3 times. Yeah. So the first time was my first job when I booked Parks and Recreation. Like had 5 lines on Parks and Rec, and the second time I had tears of joy is when they said it's a boy, because I just every guy wants a boy, right? And we were on the patio, and I like jumped up and started crying. So we were both happy. Mm-hmm. And then the other time where tears of joy was like our wedding, and I've probably had some tears of joy recently, but those 3 were obviously the top 3. I think just after COVID, and after it happened, I stuck around because I wanted to keep his life somewhat as normal as I could. Keep him there as friends, keep him there, this other side of the family. And after a couple of years, it just didn't seem to make sense to stay here because COVID changed our industry where like all the auditions are on tape. Everything was just getting more expensive, and LA was kind of unraveling a bit, it seemed. So I thought for the time being, let's go back to the East Coast and reset. It's a much better place, I think, to grow up as a kid. There's less worries as a parent. But who knows, maybe we'll come back. It really depends on work and stuff. But I have a love-hate relationship with LA. West Virginia is a different, it's just a completely different place. There's not much to do, but it feels safe. My dad's there. My mom lives in Charlotte, but she's there a lot to help out. But all my childhood friends are there. All my childhood friends with kids are there. That's part of the reason I thought it would be nice for him, because having a play date in LA versus West Virginia is like, night and day. So I don't know, it's been a nice change. So I'll see how long we can last there. He's done a couple plays, but he's so good. I mean, obviously he's a natural. He hasn't had like the lead part or anything, but he's so good. But he wants to do what he wants to do, and he's not like begging to be an actor or anything. But I'm just trying to expose him to all the things. Like he's playing violin, he's playing piano, he's in the chess club. He's pretty good at baseball. He's not very good at basketball. He's played soccer, but like. I just want to continue to expose him to things. I think it could be an outlet for him as he gets older. He can have a good life being creative. So it's definitely in his blood. So we'll see what happens as he gets older. The one thing that I'm trying to do in her honor is to like always make sure I'm throwing a banger of a birthday party for JoJo, because she, you know, number 1, number 2, number 3, and his 4th and last birthday party that she threw, they were all like, you know, fantastic, like well planned, well thought out, themed birthday parties. So I think I've done a decent job for a couple, but this last one was not that great, you know? I don't even remember what we did, but it was his 9th birthday party, but it's number 10. I'm gonna throw a blowout, and I'm hoping his cousins are gonna come from Florida. Grandma's came to the last two in West Virginia, but I'm gonna throw a big party, and I hope to be able to make her proud, and being able to throw a party like she used to throw for him as he gets older.
So Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? So Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
His grandma showed her on TV. He wanted to watch the Glee movie, and I tried to watch it, but it's still like, I mean, pictures are hard enough. I can't just sit there and watch her sing, and like, you know, it's hard for me. But he sat there and he watched the whole movie, and you could see his eyes welling up a little bit. But he's a strong boy, and he has a lot of content and episodes and stuff. Like his mom will live forever, and I think that's, you know, a silver lining, if that's a way of putting a terrible situation. Being a full-time dad, there's only so much time to like go out and meet people, but trying to find somebody. I'm getting a lot of pressure from Josey. He tells me he wants a brother, and I say, well, what if it's a sister? He's like, no, but I want a brother. And then, you know, the sad but sweet thing is he's been telling me for years now, you know, he wants a stepmom, and I'm like, well, I got to get a girlfriend first. So I'm trying to find, you know, that person. I'm you know, been talking to someone. We'll see what happens. It's hard to find someone that you like, you know, but I think I found someone that I do like. But, you know, out of town, long distance relationship, you know, expecting someone to sign up for, you know, my life and his life it's not easy. I mean, I think he's easy, but all of the variables is, you know, it's a lot to ask for someone. So taking it one day at a time and trying to be hopeful. And I'm hoping that my single dad days are numbered, you know, because it's lonely out there. Trying to be a single dad and, you know, going to sleep by yourself all the time. The favorite part of the day, if I had to have one, would be just how he is such a happy kid. He wakes up happy, all the energy, you know, like there's no depression, there's no sadness with that kid. You know, he's just waking up, he's singing, he's playing, you know. He gives me a reason to keep going in my life and something to live for, my reason to breathe, and, you know, be a good dad. So that's, just seeing him wake up every day is the favorite part. But yeah, I think it's just getting up and raising him is part of the working through it for me. You know, trying to be the best dad, the best parent that I can be, and raise a good little man one day.